Welcome to Annitude, a relationship podcast about love, friendships, and everything in between. Welcome to Annitude with Anna. I'm here with a guest that they found me. So I'll have them introduce themselves. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, Anna. So my name is Andre Paradis. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm a relationship coach and NLP coach, neurolinguistic, for the people who don't know. I'm also an educator of effective communication strategies. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But communication and relationship is the part most of us fail at. So that's a huge part of what I do. And also I wrote a couple of books, and I'm also a workshop leader, right? I do teach workshops on this stuff. And also, I think it's always a topper, I'm an ordained minister. So some of my couples that I help fix and or put together, some of them, but a good portion of them, I get to marry them myself.
That's awesome.
It's the greatest honor, I can tell you.
Yes, you get to see the journey and to marriage. That's really cool.
It's awesome. I get this like the biggest high, right? Put them together in the end.
That's awesome. So how did you get into this line of work?
Long story. I had phase three. I have three phases in my life. Young as I grew into this career, but I've always had a mind. I was curious about life. I was curious about the human condition. I was always that kind of like brainiac. I'm always looking to understand everything. I'm curious about life. I'm curious about life and everything. If you know something, I want to know what you know. You know what I mean? Like I'm that kind of. So I've always done personal development stuff since I was 23 years old. That was part of my eating up information, trying to get ahead, trying to get better, trying to understand. The beginning of it was because I had a weird, who doesn't, but I mean, my family situation was, bleh. So as a kid, as a 5-year-old, I started watching people, trying to understand why they do what they do, So I've been, one of my biggest curiosity was the human condition. How do you turn out like this? How do I turn out like this? How is, I live in Los Angeles. I have a great life. I live in paradise. I think life is exciting. I love the challenges of life. It's all the growth of it all, right? The trouble gets you to the next level. Like that's how I see things, And my neighbor across the street lives in paradise as well. He's right across the street, and his view of the world is people that are crappy, and you have to watch yourself, and you can't trust anybody, and everybody's out to get you, and this city is just full of crap, and you should move into the desert. I'm like, wow,
what?
Really?
Wow. You're like, I live in the same place, but I don't have the same feelings.
But so to me, that's interesting, right? How do you get to be you? Okay, so that's always been my brain. Always been my brain.
Very cool. I mean, so as a relationship coach, do you feel like you can understand how people get to where they are in a relationship? Let's say they're not in a good place. Do you automatically know how they got there?
In a second.
Yes. Okay.
It's kind of crazy. That's part of the work, by the way.
Yeah. So when you initially meet clients, what happens in the first interview where you're like, this is where the breakdown occurred?
Yeah. So I tell them this exactly. So I says, we're going to have a little forensic investigation of your life, because, not one of us gets out of childhood unscathed.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of us.
No.
There's all levels of injuries, there's all level of trauma, there's all level of hurt, there's all level of neglect, there's all levels, right? But everybody's got something, everybody. And what happens is between the age of 5 and 11 is typical, is when life kicks us in the ass, we end up making decisions about the world, ourselves, people, life, like decisions like you can't trust anybody, or I'm not good enough, and I'm always going to be alone, right? Like these become embedded belief systems that we completely forgot, by the way. You're 5 years old to make a decision, you don't remember, but it becomes a driver of your subconscious. Like this is driving the show.
Right.
So we're only conscious 10%. The whole idea that we only use 10% of our brains comes from that. Like we're a consciousness, that the part that we think we make choices every day is really 10% of our life. The subconscious is always awake and running the show from behind, like a computer program. Like the basic program is running the show.
Right.
You can put some apps that add and add and add. The basic program is running the show. That's our subconscious. So on my first call with my clients, with the first 15, 20 minutes, we'll go right into childhood. most people come to me because I put it this way, like you don't go see the doctor because everything's great.
You
Right?
go when you're sick. Yeah, it's already there's
It's
already trouble. People usually don't go to therapy or go see life coaches or relationship coaches until it's like,
straight up.
this is our last ditch effort to fix this, and I know we need this.
Right. Or for the people that are single, like single women, a lot of my clients are single women who don't understand part of the cultural pace. Again, we talked about a little bit earlier, but like what's in the culture is actually messing up women a lot. And the beliefs, some of the beliefs they think is better or righteous or whatever. So they come to me with, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. You know, I have everything. I'm making money. I have a car, a house. I have everything. You know, I'm no trouble. I'm the easiest girl to be with. How come nobody wants to date me? I'm invisible to man. Or when I get a date, whenever, you know, he smiles and says, "Good to meet you," and ghosts me, right? Like, and they go with, "What's wrong with me?" And I go, "Okay, let's find out what's wrong with you." So again,
let's go back into childhood.
Within
See.
15 minutes, we get to it,
Yes.
right? I go click, 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 have it like a have it doesn't question, click, 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 and we go, there you go. So it's not there's anything wrong with you, is what happened to you. You made decisions and then you got stuck on those. Those decisions are instinctual, by the way, like it's a way to protect ourselves from the bad things that we perceive
Right.
in life, the world, ourselves. We put up some walls for defending ourselves, to protecting ourselves. And those are beautiful defense mechanisms, except 20, 25 years later, these things actually are keeping you from being alive, from being vulnerable, for being open, for being, you know, whatever, right? Like, so then that's where the problem is. So I see, honey, there's nothing wrong with you. This is what happens to you, considering that happened to you, you're completely normal.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a so that whole like
sigh of relief, like, oh yeah, I thought I was unfixable. I thought nobody would ever love me.
I was broken.
Yes.
Right? I was broken. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong with you, considering you're doing really well. So now we know what happened. We don't forget what happened. We learn. Now from here, this moment today, me and you face to face, right? We have from here forward. We learn that, but we don't live there. That's living in depression. We're here.
Yes.
What's the dream? Now, from that whole place, right? What's the dream? They go, well, I really want it.
Yes.
Like, let's go get it.
Yeah, let's do it. So that's interesting to really think about. You know, that people don't realize how much their childhood affects their adulthood, because a lot of people say like, oh, I'm gonna be different from my parents, or I'm not going to let that situation change me, but it's inevitable. Like you said, it's like a defense. It's a survival 90%, tactic.
90% of your brain is running the show, not your thing. I'm not, you know, it's funny because, and we actually know this, it's kind of ridiculous. Default system of human brain. It's not ridiculous. It's just kind of like too bad. Let's put it this way. You know, because we make this, I'm never going to be like her. I'm never going to be like her. I'm never going to be like her. I'm never like her. And you're so focused on never being like her, you turn out just like her. Do you know what I mean? It's like if I say to you, don't think of an elephant, the first thing you go, you think of an elephant.
So yes. Like if you constantly think that you're going to be different, then it's on it, just subconsciously
the focus
is on that.
Still on there, right? So like we know that whatever you focus on expands. Well, right. So you have to be careful what you think. You have to be careful what you say, because it produces your life. So away from motivation, which is I don't want to be like my dad. I want to be like my mom. I'm never going to be like them. And then you turn around 20 years later thinking you're nothing like them, and just like them. Right?
Identical. Yes.
Identical. Yes. And then you get what's wrong with me again, right? Like, and then that, no, it's normal. And like, it's not how we it's not how we get through it. You get through it by making this different decisions, wide awake, as opposed to pushing against. That's just as obsessive of trying to deny it all, right? It's the same loop, right? How to push through it? How do you process through it? How do you like mourn the kid in you that didn't get to whatever, right? How do you mourn this thing and get? I call it pushing the arrow through, right? It's an injury to the heart. You don't rip the arrow out, right? It's more damage. The easiest way is to push it through. And then you can heal. So pushing through, so you have to go through your pain. You have to like mourn your childhood. You have to get sad about it, but process it through so you can get on the other side really more like in charge, more like and get a hold of yourself literally, because you process your stuff. So really fun.
Yes, it's probably a great process to see people realize, like, things that they, didn't think mattered to their development. But, we're all works in progress, and things happen, things make us change, and it's just wild what the human brain can do. So when you have clients who come in and say, we're having problems, and they're both arguing, or they're, neither one wants to take, accountability. How do you get couples to start the process of communication? Because I know that's a huge thing with relationships, is the communication is number one.
And people are often confused. They don't, everybody says it's always communication, right? Actually, in all your relationships, business, children, employer, employees, every relationship you have, are going well because of open, clear communications. And so people always think people think communication is the words that you use. It's not. I mean, it's because we often use words thinking that they land the way that we meant them to land, and they don't, right? So I say, it's not the words that you use. If you're not getting the results, you're not communicating. If you think you're being completely clear,
right,
and your team is not getting any of it, and they don't know where to go, and they feel you're a bad leader, it's you're not communicating,
right? So you can say all you want, but if there's no understanding, then it doesn't matter what you have said.
So right, so there's always, and also a lot of our dynamics that come at the base are driven in a power struggle, right? Like employer employee, a power struggle, right? Teacher student, right? Husband and wife,
right?
Sometimes, right? So like most of big relationships around us are always parent child. They're always calibrated in some kind of power struggle. So whoever has the power, and whoever doesn't have the power is always trying to find ways to get on top. Employees will steal if you mistreat them, right? They'll mess up their time cards. They'll get away with it. They'll make you pay one way or the other. If they don't feel you take care of them, they don't feel seen and heard and appreciated, they'll mess you up. Your kids will lie, cheat, so anything to get away and around your head, right? Because if you're overpowering them, they're gonna find a freaking way, right? So the love dynamic has that dynamic plus, because now we have emotions attached to it. He should know what I need. She should stop talking to me like this. She knows that makes me crazy, but we should the hell out of each other. Right. So but that's expectation.
The expectations that people have that are unspoken expectations or unrealistic expectations.
Unreal. That's it. So that's where I go, right? Where is it that you guys are falling apart?
Right.
Well, in my world, there's 4 kinds of what I call loser communications, right? Evasive. Well, someday we'll get married. Right? That's not a communication, you jerk. You're messing with her, right? But people do it without even knowing it. Evasive, abrupt, shut up. I'm leaving. I'm done with this stuff. I'm sick of your shit. Right? That's not communication, but people like to use these, right? So evasive, abrupt, condescending. Well, it's about time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I've been waiting for those flowers for 2 years.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, women say, that's lovely. How many more flowers are you going to get with that kind of attitude, right?
Right. None, I hope.
And the other one is mind reader. Mind reader is, he should know what I know. She should know not to talk to me that way. He's known me long enough. Mind reading, that's completely shitty. Like, don't do any of those. So these 4, so I had to figure out where they come undone, right? Typically, so where is the dynamic gone awry? Because what happens is there's some kind of power.
Somebody has more power than the other, and the other is trying to get to their level. Perceived power. Yes.
Which is
Do you see that more with the power struggle with men and women? Do you see that more, that the men think they are, just because of societal norms, quote unquote? Do you think men think they have more the perceived power than women? Or is it the opposite?
It's the opposite.
Yes. I was going to say, because I always feel, as a woman who dates men, I always feel like I have the power. And I usually seek out, and I've done a lot of self-reflecting, I seek out men who I know I can have this perceived power over, instead of finding somebody that would challenge me.
Yeah.
And then I get resentful that these men are not challenging my power, perceived power. So it took a while for me to realize that, like, why am I dating these guys that I'm not happy with, that are not meeting my standards, and they should try to be up.
Sign here.
Right. Yes. Honestly, I realized that because my relationships would fail because I would seek out these men that would not challenge my perceived power. So very interesting.
Very passive men. This is very culturally right now, where we used to raise men to be strong, independent, powerful.
Right.
As men, so they can handle their lives, they can handle their career, they can handle their, build their character, get some confidence, build a life, so they can take on a woman and children. But we decided that's passe. So in the past 30, 40, 50 years, we started raising women to be strong, independent, and powerful.
Right.
Now, feminist movement, the basis of it is really great. Of course, sure.
Yeah, equality. We want that.
Equality, and then this is where they want to ride, by the way, right? Because it's originally the feminist movement was about, bringing choices. Right? You could be a housewife,
or you can go to work.
You want to be a mom, be a mom. But if you want to go to work, you want it to be fair. Okay.
Right.
So that's fantastic. That was the premise. It's not what it is anymore.
No, now it's like we can do it without any help, and we don't need anybody, and
we don't need no man.
Yes,
they're toxic anyway.
Yes,
and you can't trust them, and they're cheaters and they're liars. And your girlfriend, you're better off with your girlfriend, kind of chilling, because we don't need no man. And so if you make half the planet wrong, by the way, because now the feminist movement, and I'm going to say this, and whoever it triggers, I'm sorry, that's my world. That's what I see every day. The feminist movement is now a man-hating movement. And then we did this, right? We did this perception of power that men were always in power for millennia, right? And we decided that we're going to get it back. So this is bullying, right? So not that this was great. There's a place where all this flexes, but now we went to perceive this thing as an evil to be eliminated, and then we do this. So both are extremes. Both don't work. Both don't work, right? No. So there's people, let's use our brains and flex somewhere in the middle and have some conversation about what's not working, what you want, what do you need, what's that look like, right? Because men who care for you will absolutely freaking adjust to make you happy.
Right.
Because that's an instinctual thing. No manipulation needed.
Right.
However, you have to use the language that, respectful language. Otherwise, if you light up his warrior, right? Men are warrior and hunters at heart, right? Our genetics of not 2.5 million years of evolution, that's not going away. That's not going away anytime. Our instincts built in, right? We're warriors, we're fighters, we're conquerors, right? Problem solvers. That's what we do instinctively, or neurotically. So if you trigger my defensive mechanism, that now you're the enemy, you're gonna lose.
Right.
You're gonna lose, girl. You're gonna lose, right? And then you're gonna think I'm a big dick and a jerk and a piece of shit. And you're like, no, you just flick that nerve. You attack me, even if you're right. By the way, this is a tragedy. Even if you're right, if you attack me with it, you're gonna lose.
Okay. I can see how the instinctual nature plays into it. Yeah.
I'm gonna push right by now. If I'm a girly man, right? I call it a boy. If I'm not a man, if I'm a boy, if you're dealing with a boy, they get passive aggressive. They'll squash down. You can yell at them all you want. You can try to control them. They will. They'll squash down, right? Seemingly obey. By the way, men don't obey. Just saying.
Yeah.
Right? Boys will obey. They want to be the good boy, right?
Right.
However, because they're still men, they typically become passive aggressive. So then they'll say yes to anything you demand and never do it. Kind of flip you off from the back.
Right.
So that's either a terrible, right? Passive aggressiveness, you want to kill the guy.
Right.
I want to kill the guy. The other one, you just trigger the warrior, and now you're getting pushed back, and he's gonna shut you down.
Right.
And you're gonna think he's a jerk because you're just trying to get him to do. That's not how you do it, right? So that's the communication part that I'm talking about. There's a way to approach men respectfully. Then you trigger the hero in him, the fixer. I got this. This is gonna make her happy. There's an instinct there, right? You don't have to manipulate, but if you have to, you can't attack them.
Right.
Which is now what I see all the time now in our culture, that women think women emulating the worst of men, they think is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Women
Mm-hmm.
acting like dicks,
Right.
disrespectful, rude, pushy, asshole-ish,
Mm-hmm.
think that's powerful. No, you're acting out the worst part of man.
Right. Right.
That's
And
not
that's not
okay.
necessary.
That's not necessary. That's not okay. And it brings out the worst in men. And then you think it's just because I'm a girl, they don't respect me. No, you're
Mm-hmm.
acting like an ass.
Right. Regardless of
Men and
gender.
women will push back on you. So it's not gender.
Yeah.
No man has the time to push you down at work to keep you from promote. Nobody has time for that,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you approach your
A
leadership
situation. Yeah.
sideways, you're gonna get some pushback.
Right. Right. It's
And
just a human nature.
human nature, right? Men will do it literally forcefully. If you
Mm-hmm.
work, they'll ignore you. They'll ignore your directive. They'll completely walk away from you, or like, poof, literally.
Yes.
Women will smile on your face and go behind your
And
back and talk shit.
about. Yep. Exactly.
Destroy your
Yes.
reputation, lie about you, start some rumors.
Yes.
So it's the disrespect of trying
The-
to, as a woman, when you want to be badass,
right.
emulating the shittiest part of man does not make you a
Mm-hmm.
badass. It makes you another shitty boss.
Yes, exactly.
Woo, I'm
I
just like,
agree.
boom, boom. I'm sorry, like, you got me going, but you see what
That's
it is?
okay. That's okay.
People don't get that though.
I
People
love
don't get that.
love the insight. So let's go back to the power dynamic and how do you get people to lose that sense of perceived power if they want the relationship to work? What are some tips and exercises you have them do to get rid of that perceived power? Because nobody should have more power than the other in a relationship.
Absolutely. You're like asking the best questions ever. I'm serious. Like those are good questions. So the problem is we see I don't want to be controlled. You don't want to be controlled. Mm-hmm. Right? You want to have your say, you want to have your voice, you want your power, and I want to have mine. Right? However, again, if we go man on man with this, we're going to be fighting. Right. You want to be man on woman. Well, what does that mean? Right? Well, I'm going to show you. Look behind me. Look behind me. This is my past, by the way. Ballroom dancing. This is me and my wife.
I love that.
Now,
beautiful.
Do you think they're doing the same thing? Are they man on man?
No.
To do this? No. This is a relationship. Mm-hmm. Right? They both bring something different, but like they each have their strengths. Right. They come together to create a unit called the dance. Right. The metaphors for relationships are the same. Fantastic, right? A woman who does what a woman does, a man who does what a man does, they typically don't match. Mm-hmm. We could match them, right? But this creates a lot of collision because we're pushing on each other. So instead of pushing on each other, man on man, which creates this fighting and colliding and frustration and right, she's crazy and is a jerk type thing, right? So if we go back to nature, everything that teaches nature and science and research and data, whatever. But to create that flow, they're not doing the same thing. Right. And she's not passive. Right. She is not passive. You think this girl is you think she's chilling up there? No, she's working. She's working back. Yes. She's working backwards in heels and a dress. Yes. That's some power. Not passive. Yeah. But without her, he can't do him. Right. Right. So it kind of has to be two people coming together with two different backgrounds, two different senses of, what is, how to be a good partner. What you're bringing. What are you bringing? Yes. What are you bringing? And how are you both helping each other to evolve? Yes. So what happens in our culture is women want to, again, strong, independent, and powerful. They assume the male position. Mm-hmm. And they want that male position with relationship with men. Now, not one self-respecting man will let you do that. Mm-hmm. No. Fight. She's crazy. He's a jerk, right? So women then look for passive men. I'm raising my hand because that is me. That is absolutely me. Because they're sweet and sensitive and they're agreeable, like women. They're at the time, and then they get very resentful. After 6 months, after 6 months, you wonder what happened to your life, right? So yes. Now, but they're seducing, they're sweet, they're kind, they're talkative. You go find a guy I could talk to because he talks, and often he talks about himself and never have a conversation. It's all about him. Yeah. He's a little narcissist, over feminized by his manly mother, who's going to make him a good boy. Mm-hmm. Right. So they're all over the place. So my point is, back to nature. Mm-hmm. Opposites attract. Yes. So like two magnets, right? Positive magnet, negative magnet, they go snap, right? Mm-hmm. try to put two positive magnets together. Whoa.
Yeah.
You can't get them to touch.
Right.
That's what's happening in our culture. Women are masculine and men don't want masculine women. Men want to be man. The ones that are men, right? A third are boys. So you have an avalanche of women getting entangled with these idiots.
Right.
And they think that's man. It's not.
It's not.
It's not. So, right. So you have to recalibrate. So if you're going to get into the dance and you want to be the man, that's fine, but he's going to be the girl.
Right.
So
right.
you emasculate him and you man up. That doesn't work for very long.
No.
Right. Women get burnt out and tired taking the lead all the time.
Exactly.
And he's resentful that, he can't own his own balls.
Right.
And eventually, this is the worst thing. Are you ready? This is like by the book. If you end up that dynamic is mothering. If you're in charge of him and you want to be a good boy and do it your way and obey you, right?
That's no longer a relationship, a partner relationship. That is
it's a mother and son relationship, right? So within a few months to about a year, depending on how this thing kind of shifts, because sometimes women will get a good man and then like kind of bring him down. You know what I mean? Just so that if she's insecure, that makes her feel safe. However, what happened is within a year, because mother's son, nobody wants sex in the family. So within a year, there's no more sex because nobody wants to sleep with their mother. No mother wants to sleep with their son. Right. But that's the energy, energy it brings. Yeah. And within, and this is the stories that I hear every day. That's my life, right? You think, and of course, typically, he roots you on. Like you go, girl, and you get the promotion, and you work hard, and you got two jobs. One is, spooning the dog on the couch all day, smoking a joint, and writing his music, right? Like these are stories, like they're real stories. Because dynamic opposition attract, right? So if you're masculine, ladies, you're gonna find yourself automatically nature, not a thought process. He can't even. He's just responding to your energy. You're gonna attract boys. So if your world is stuck in a loop of assholes. Losers, it's you. So we have to recalibrate you more in your feminine, so then you actually can become visible to masculine men, because masculine men are everywhere, just like boys everywhere. But there's two times more men than boys. But you're invisible to them as long as you stay in your masculine. Okay, so that's interesting, right? So here we go. Are you ready? This is what I'm hearing, ladies. At this point, they go. So like, what are we supposed to do? Dumb it down and wiggle our asses like Marilyn Monroe? Now, did you hear me say that? Is that what I said?
No.
Thank you.
No.
Right. So it's not about.
And also, what is wrong with Marilyn Monroe? She was a very successful and But also, what I heard was that you need to, if you want to attract somebody who's on your level, but you don't have to be abrasive about it. You don't have to be the boss. You don't have to be, it's not a relationship if you are making somebody obey. That's all you're saying.
Right. In love relationship, especially. Right. There's the kiss of death, right? Because you'll be really successful at work if you pull your balls out. But if you pull your balls in a man's face, you're out of there. Like you so quickly. They're not real men, right? Will smell it on you. They won't even say hi to you. You're invisible. You're a disrespectful thing. Right. They won't even smile at you, and they ignore you. They just because we feel that energy from across the street, right? So this is what I say, right? Even it's still a bit crass, but I go, ladies, strong, independent, and powerful. Go absolutely, because you actually have to be in your masculine to work, to get shit done, to produce results. That's just, you have to be. That's just the energy needed to produce results and compete in the world. But I say, ladies, that's all fine. You be a badass. That's great. Except leave your balls in your drawer when you leave.
At work. Yeah.
Leave your balls at work, because you can't date putting your balls in his face. You can't date, thinking that men will even see you, respond to you, be lovely, nice to you, genuinely with you when you have your balls out. Like, it's fucking irritating.
No, that's okay. This is not a family show. And any families are listening, turn it off. But I feel like if you want somebody like yourself, and you want this person to be strong, independent, but you also need to understand that you wouldn't want somebody to control you. So therefore, why are you trying to control somebody else? It just doesn't work.
Back to this.
Yes, the dancing.
Now, so get this. This is interesting because, again, it's not even a men and women thing in my world. Because if you know, we talk about men and women, you know, this works the same in all gay relationships.
Sex, yeah, same
all
sex
the same,
relationships.
right? So,
yeah.
Those actually the relationships that taught us a lot. Because if you take out gender as like, you know, she's crazy and is an asshole, you know, if you take that out with the big line, right? She's crazy and he doesn't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if we have two guys and two girls, well, now that narrative is gone.
Right.
So how come some gay couples crash and burn, almost kill each other, like straight couples do, and others flourish? You know, I know many 30 years together. What's the magic? What's the magic? One
The
does
dance.
this,
Yeah.
one does that.
Yes.
So they figure out their
the balance.
They figure out their strengths and they step into each other's strengths. So get this, even I'm going to give you an example. Nothing about gender. Get this. I have this, any duo that work out, that is successful, do this. They do this. So I'm giving an example in my head. There's a production company that's out here. Two guys that I know, they're partners, right? In the business. Super successful. But get this, in the duo of their partnership, these two guys, they're not together, they're not lovers, they just do business together, right? But it's the same thing I'm saying. One is extroverted. He grabs the mic, he talks to everybody, he goes to all the live events, he's the connector, he's in everybody's face, right? He's the extroverted in the world kind of guy. The other one wants none of that. The temperament, right? The temperament,
Yes.
two different temperaments. Wants none of that. He's the writer, the creator, the guy sitting in the office, quiet, right? He's introverted, doesn't want to be in the, overwhelms him to be in public, but put him in with a book and a pen and a computer, and he just goes right.
That's his zone.
Strength. So
yes.
It's the two. So these two together as a partnership make a ton of money because they're complementary to each other.
Yes.
If they both want to grab the mic, it goes straight to hell.
Yeah.
Right? If they're fighting to get on stage,
yes.
Who's writing the material?
Exactly.
So that's the same thing with men and women, right? Like, so
yes.
Ladies, if you want to lead, if you want to take on, if you want to control everything, no man's going to stick to this, right? Like, it doesn't work. Like, you got to be fighting. So
eventually,
then you have to find a guy that's more passive. That's going to work for a while, but eventually you get burnt out. And again, like I said, he's having an affair soon enough with somebody else.
Exactly.
So what goes, again, back to nature? What's more? What?
Exactly. It's complementing each other without being controlling. So,
you know, so find your strength and find somebody in opposite of you. But what's still better in your bodies is if you let a man be a man and woman be a woman in the love dynamics.
Yes.
You could be manly at work. You could, wear your balls proud, right? But if the relation with man is going to be a lot easier if you let him be the man, you let him take everything that he wants to take charge of, because men do this naturally, instinctively. You, by the way, get to relax, because he's going to say shit like, I got this, don't worry about it. No, I'm going to get work. Don't, I got done. Don't worry. Right? You get to relax. You get to recover from work. You get to have somebody taking care of you in that level. No manipulation needed. No manipulation needed. Men want this for you. Men want to keep you comfortable and happy, because when you're comfortable and happy, I'm comfortable and happy.
Yes.
That's very simple. So we go back to nature. We could flip the roles like we did in our culture. That's not working.
It's not.
So what I'm saying is the modern way to do classic. There's a modern way today to do what we know classically works better, lined up with nature.
Right.
Ta-da!
There we go. We cracked the code, everybody. Listen carefully. So when you say that men and women, need to do a modern take on the classics, do you ever find that it doesn't work? Like, is there ever relationships where you see like men and women are, complementary to each other, but the man or the woman is innately a cheater or abusive? So there's some anomalies to this.
Oh yeah, there's narcissism that destroys, a good complementary relationship. Narcissists want both. So when you want both, you know what I mean? It's all about you. It's all about you. The other person's got to be a doormat. If you're not a doormat, you're going to take it for so long and go, all right, I'm out of here. So that's the thing. That will fail, even if the dynamic in itself works, temperament.
Right. Right.
you know, people that are schizophrenic, people who are not healthy. Obviously, there's all kinds of reasons. I have women. I had a woman. I had a couple that together 13 years, 3 kids. He was a good old boy. He's working his butt off. He, you know, good life, big old house, blah blah blah. And he found out that she was cheating on him
Oh.
for like 2 years.
Oh. Wow.
So devastated and humiliating for man, right?
Yes.
Um, and at the bottom, so we started working together because he was like, I love her. We have 3 kids. I don't want to destroy our lives. You know what I mean? Let's see if we could fix this. Now, if she said, I don't want to fix this, then there's nothing to do, right? So as long as what I'm saying is stuff happens, people get derailed, life kicks their butts. But what happened for her is she thought she'd been molested when she was little, and it left her inside of her a feeling of being broken. So she never talked about it, but inside of her, that brokenness, you know, made her feel less than, and she actually didn't think she was deserving of him.
Oh, so
Of
she
the
was trying to
kids.
self-sabotaging.
Of the kids, of the lifestyle, and after 13 years of pretending, she thought she was pretending the whole time to be who he
Wow.
thought. So she thought he never met me, doesn't know who I am, a broken woman, and the brokenness came out that way,
Right.
like sabotaging the thing because she never felt worthy.
Right.
Now he's like, I just love you.
Yeah.
Like, let's fix this. Like,
Right.
you know, I'm willing to make this. I'll go above this, right? And so went into the work, and then I had to put it because it turned out the abuse was just severe, like stuff
wow.
beyond me, right? Stuff beyond me.
Yeah.
We're talking like trauma stuff, like.
Yeah. She needs to go see
So
somebody.
I hooked her up. I
Yeah.
hooked them up because I have the resources. I hooked them up with, you know, people who do that kind of work. And as far as I know, so far they're hanging in there. So I don't know which level of development she, you know, but she's healing from her trauma. So I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen. Because when things derail and things are in place properly, it's typically a story, right? A past, like not handle, you know, trauma that
right.
And it's and like I said, everybody's got
something, like you said, that nobody leaves childhood unscathed. So
everybody's got bits and pieces.
Yes. So before we started recording, we were talking about hookup culture. So yes, I need to get your perspective on this, because I come from a family where my parents have been married for 30 plus years. So, and my parents never said like, don't go out and experiment and hook up, but I'm not personally a girl that likes to just hook up for fun. I'm more of the monogamy type of person.
Yep.
But I have friends who participate in this hookup culture, and then there's always somebody who gets hurt in this. So I want to hear your perspective on hookup culture.
Oh, Jesus. We go left and right with this. But back to nature, right? Back to nature. Women are not made to have sex like men.
Right.
Like it or not, you know, call me sexist. Blame God, right? Like it's nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In nature, there's a hierarchy, there's a system, there's a way, right? First of all, well, we can talk about cycles, but it's not important necessarily here. But in nature, like the males are always trying to climb on the females, the females always sit down. The females are in charge of the reproduction cycle.
Right.
Seasonal, by the way. Every animal in the planet is seasonal except humans and dogs. Everybody's on a cycle. Cats, even. Cats. Yes. You can't find a kitty in February. It doesn't exist.
Spring. Yeah.
So nature. So like nature, again, runs us bigger than we remember, right? So in nature, the men are always trying to climb on the women, on the females, and the females sit. And they go, Either it's not the time, or you're not the guy, or right. So in nature, in the human history, that was always the case as well. So back in the 50s, that was a system that was nature driven, if you want, where we call that costly sex. You know, the reason why men went to work, the reason why men went to school, became lawyers, built businesses, right? Pushed through their lives, fought for their living a mission, building their character, building their confidence, you know, making some money, is because women require them to be, you know, like upstanding citizen, capable of taking care of her and her offspring. Nature. Every species does a version of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
the man will hunt and impress the women and go, here, girl.
Yeah. I brought this home for you. You like it?
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then protect her with his strength and his brawniness and all that stuff, right? So when the female feels safe, that she can open up, that he's safe to open up to, you know. So again, and back, if think about caveman, cave women, like 2.5 million years ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? The man, you know, instinct has us procreate and make babies, right? To keep up the species. That's normal. Like every living thing has this. We're born to make more babies.
Right.
First, without any reasoning, right? Every animal on the planet, the first thing they do is they reproduce. That's just nature, right? Pushing reproduction. So humans are the same, but it's a little complicated in the sense that, you know, a caveman could just rape a woman because the offspring was always the part, right? The legacy was always an offspring.
Right.
That was the legacy I've been on this planet. Instinctual as hell, right? But if you rape the girl to have your offspring, she ain't gonna take care of your offspring most likely, and not very well.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to be nice to her. She has to actually feel safe with you and like you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what
Right.
do you do as a caveman, right? You get the you get the deer, you plop it down, you know, she'll cook it because she knows how. You just did the dangerous work on some level, right? But he was going to show her over a period of time that he's capable to bring her food. You know, he's got a teepee that he's, you know, keeping somewhat organized and clean. He's got a space for her. He's big. He's willing to protect her. He likes her, so he brings her little gifts and brings her a little gift and tries to impress her in all little ways until she's like, well, okay, he's got his shit together. He's got a nice big old teepee, right? Like,
Yeah, I love it.
bigger
Very
than the other
cozy.
guys, right?
Yes.
Like again, nature, right? Like status and look what I could do. Status, look what I can do. Every man in the world with every girl in the world. Look what I can do, right? So trying to impress her, but he has to show that he can protect her. He is capable of providing, protecting. He wants to. He's gentle enough. He has to show that he's gentle enough to not just jump on her, and you know, like he has to take care of her feelings and take care of make sure she's comfortable and
Right.
that she likes him. And when he does that for a few months, she opens up to him because she feels safe. And then again, nature wants to procreate, and that happens. But again, he has to prove so much,
right,
for her to be willing to open up, because back in those days, and it's still true today, but not so much, pregnancy was dangerous.
Yes.
It was a life sentence for 30% of the ladies. In childbirth, they would die.
Right.
So having sex was not casual. So there's always danger of, so that's why it was this kind of process, right? You have to show that he's a good guy, and then she would be there to protect her. And again, talk about nature. This one floors me because it's correct. You know how you ladies, when you get together on a circle on a regular basis, you menses kind of sync up.
Yes.
Nature, right? Do you know why? Do you know why? We decoded that thing. I think it's insane because we keep thinking nature is right. By the way, you always sync up to the alpha female of the group.
Okay.
That's how it goes, right? So we sync up to the alpha female. And again, in nature, because back in the caveman years, we lived in small pods of like, you know, 20, 25, 30, 35 people, right? We live in little tribes, but we're also nomads, right? So we settle somewhere and kind of take all the resources and drain them and then have to move and, you know, start again. So we kept moving. Well, a woman who's pregnant is not very movable or mobile. So the idea of nature syncing you guys together is because all the women be pregnant at the same time.
Oh.
Safety against survival. And nature is all about survival. So there's several mechanisms. So we plant it for, you know, the women that get pregnant together, and hopefully longer until the offspring start being able to be movable. But again, if women pop babies left and right, it's always dangerous.
Right.
It's anyway, credible nature.
Oh
right?
So yes, wild.
Think about it. It's wild, right?
Yes.
So back to nature, right? So all of that mechanism of he has to provide, protect, be kind, you know, and for her to be careful in, you know, in picking a mate who could take care of her, because let's get this. We talk about slut shaming, right? It will. This started back then. Right. If you had one chick who would go at night from tent to tent, TP to TP, every different night for chicken leg, right? Or rib, right? but like had no virtue and didn't bother to find out the guys were good guys, right? But just for the chicken leg, like no virtue. Guess what happened,
They would
right?
talk about her.
Well, the women would try to kill her, first of all.
Okay, yeah, worse. Very, very extreme.
She's dangerous. The women would try to kill her.
Yeah.
But the man will put up with her just for the fun of it, but nobody's going to take care of her because whose freaking baby is she carrying? We don't know.
We don't know.
So, and to the masculine, caveman, human male today, the biggest offense is to spend his time, money, resources, energy on a child that's not his.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest insult. So if you're a hoe, I can't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And no man's going to take you on. No man's going to take you on. And there's your hookup culture problem, because basically when women are hooking up like men, you're telling all men, this limbic lizard brain, that he can't trust you.
Okay.
Ever. So he will never try to build a life with you, because he's going to put you in a house. He's going to work his ass off. And next thing you know, you're sleeping with his best friend because you're mad at him, because that's what happened. Fuck that. That's hookup nature. That's why it doesn't work. So women say to me all the time, like, they just want to have sex. I'm like, well, congratulations. You've done a great job as making sure that's all they want from you, because they don't even have to step up now for you to sleep with them. Congratulations, ladies. You really messed that up for yourself, because you're going completely against nature. They don't really know. The guys don't really know really what's happening, except I don't really do shit, and I can just have fun with her, and but I don't want to take care of her. Why would I?
And I think a lot of women think that is a way to get somebody to be in a relationship with you, but that should not be what you lead with. Is like you, and that's saying, like, yes, if you're both consenting adults and that's what you decide your relationship's going to be based on, but you can't be upset later down the road when he's like, we're just having fun.
Yeah. Seriously, I mean, again, this is also cultural crap, right? Because women think, men want sex, you give them sex, and the intimacy starts a relationship. Absolutely not.
No.
Now, again, this is research, right? There's a lot of research on this. Like, his lizard brain, right? He still wants to impress you. His lizard brain still says she has to be virtuous. His lizard brain says, I need to be able to trust her.
Right.
So they this is kind of a mind fuck, by the way, because men always want to have sex because it's one of the ways we connect profoundly, right? We get to our hearts through our bodies. You have to go through your heart first before you open up your bodies. If you're normal, we do it backwards. So there's a pulse there. So men want to have sex because it's fun, gets me out of my head, makes me feel alive. However, if I have sex with you without having done anything for you to trust me, like, boop, you fall off.
Right.
You fall off, you fall right off. You're just one of those.
Yeah.
Now, they don't have the thought process. It's just what happens. Like, you just boop, fall off. I've tested this with young men. I mean, that's not a generational thing. It's a freaking human thing.
Right.
So, I say, if you want to have sex, go ahead. I'm not a moralist. I don't really, you know what I mean? I don't care.
Yeah, go ahead.
But if you're trying to build something, if you want to build something with a man, you have to get him by the heart first, not his dick.
Yes, it's true. And then also it's fine. I don't mind when people say they just like to hook up, but I have a problem when they are like crying, like, I don't understand why he doesn't want to date me. I'm like, well, I don't know what you expected, because you didn't have any expectations. Well, and then you can't expect them to understand what you wanted if you didn't communicate that besides having sex.
And again, the key to get this is that this is psychological mechanism that happens. So you date a guy 3 weeks, let's say 3 weeks. You don't know his last name. You've never met his parents. You don't know his friends, right? He took you out for dinner 3 times. Spend a few $100s. You like him, he likes you, right? But you know nothing about him, right?
Right.
In our culture, women like, so you want to come upstairs? And she goes, yeah, to start something. You know what I mean? But get this. This is insane. And I'm happy to bring this out and call it out on the audience and spread that wide and far. It doesn't start the relationship with men. It usually kills it, because if he likes you 3 weeks much, the moment you have sex with him, he cannot get invested with you emotionally any further. He will never like you more than that 3 week lot. 4 week, like, his emotional investment with you stops. You stall his emotional investment in you. It goes into, okay, You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
And
they are like
you can't get
get
him by the,
further.
you can't get in emotionally into it more. You just got him in that place that he gets stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's kind of important, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
think you start something, for most men, you've just killed it.
Right.
The guy who just wants to have sex is having sex. The guy who wants to build something, you just fell off his wagon. Get this. This is crass. Are you ready? I got this
Mm-hmm.
from one of my teachers. Man marry virtue, not vaginas.
Mm. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah,
Because marriage is to build something.
right.
And
And
if
you
you're
can get vagina anywhere, but virtue is
anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So like that's what, and so men now are used to getting vagina, like just for like a cocktail,
right.
or a
Which
couple
I
of,
always tell ladies, I'm like, it's priceless. Do not give it away for
like,
just a drink. That's
God,
not
but
it's not commerce. It's not, you're not trading a service for a good. Like
straight
I
up,
don't like that always bothers me when I'm like, well, I felt like I had to because we went out to a nice dinner, and I'm like, huh? That's all it takes for you? Like
right?
that's
Again, right?
weird.
You're
You
gonna
don't have
fall
to pay
off.
him back for that. Like that's not a
No.
payment.
But again, that
So
comes from that 50-50 bullshit in our
right,
culture, that you owe him now if you let him. No,
right.
none of that.
No.
That's not how men think in the first place, right?
Right.
But like when you give away the currency, the only currency that men truly like will die for, if
Mm-hmm.
you give it away,
Then
your
what's
bodies, you give away
left?
your
Yeah.
bodies for nothing.
Mm-hmm. What's
If
left?
it's not valuable to you, it's not valuable to me. If you don't
Oh,
respect you, I don't respect you either.
right, right.
And I'm looking, and guys, I do this all day long and interview guys, young guys, all over the place. I'm trying to prove myself wrong all the time.
Mm-hmm.
God helps whoever's sitting next to me on the plane. Good Lord, right? Because they're
like, I
strapped
just
in.
came here to listen to music, and this guy's over here asking me about the girls I'm hooking up with and how I feel about them. Oh
Well,
my
no,
God.
I'm pretty sneaky, right? Because I just go, hey, how are you? What's your name? Blah, blah, what do you do? And they usually goes, oh, no, what's your name? What do you do? And it starts.
Yes.
Right, because they're curious, and then
Yeah.
I'm interviewing them without them knowing. By the way, I'm trying to disprove what I teach. I'm trying to find the cracks. I want somebody to call bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's never,
Right.
right?
Well,
So
because it hasn't changed. I mean, it's just like as much as we want it to not be true that men don't want women after they have sex with them or they see them as somebody who gives it away, it hasn't been disproven, because every guy that I'm friends with or that I've heard them talk about women, it's because they're like, no, I don't want to date her because we hooked up on the first night, and what's the point now? So
and they go literally. I had a young man, because it's like I'm trying to prove, like, millennials as opposed to like my generation and whatever in between, and I'm trying to find the, things have changed.
no.
Nothing. And I get my favorite one is, I had one 29-year-old, single, right, but dating. So by the way, ladies, like it or not, normal males, when they're dating, not courting, but dating, date multiple women.
Yes. It shouldn't be a shock, but it is to a lot of women.
Right?
They're like, I thought I was the only one that was taking a Burger King. And I'm like, no, honey, there's taken several.
Until he says, be my girlfriend.
You're not his girlfriend.
Dating, not his girlfriend. He's completely free agent, and he knows that. So, okay, so first, let's put that down. That doesn't make him a pig, makes him a male.
Right.
Shopping, right? You should do the same thing, by the way. Anyway, so this 29-year-old has, I go dig right into him, right? Trying to disprove myself and disprove like cultural, millennial, blah, blah, right? So how did 3 girlfriends or 3 girls. So one he's sleeping with, one he's about to sleep with, and one who's resisting it. I'm like, oh, interesting. And he's very excited about the one who's resisting. Doesn't even know why. I know exactly what he's doing. I know what's happening, but he doesn't know why, right? He's at the place at 29. He's starting to get a little more serious. He's looking for a good girl, right? He doesn't want to hook up. He's done that. But he's a guy. So if you get close, he's going to get a boner. So that's going to kick in. But, right? Like, so I get it. So I go, so why the first one? Well, she's been around for a couple of months, and it's about to end. That's why. Because I'm bored with her. She's just one of those. There's no hard connection. It's just physical, right?
Yes.
And again, hooking up is hollow for men too. Especially when they get a little bit older, it's normal. Number 2, just start sleeping with, so it's really fun because they're discovering all kinds of fun stuff. So he's excited about her, but really excited about number 3 because she's like, I don't know you. I'm not doing that until, I have an idea of who you are and with this,
Mm-hmm.
the potential of a relationship. And he's like, and he's not saying the words, but I'm watching him process it that way, where he's going, this chick has virtue. This chick has boundaries. She knows who she is. She won't let me seduce her out of her pants because she's solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a foundation. There's a woman who knows who she is.
Right.
This girl has boundaries. I like her. I like that in a girl, right?
Yes.
I can't easily seduce her. I like
Right.
that
This
about
is
her.
interesting. I'm
They
I'm invested. I
they
want
they
to
all
to
say
see
the
where it
same
goes.
thing.
Yeah.
They all say the same thing. Like they like the girl who's like, don't
No,
know,
thank you.
no, don't know you yet. No,
Mm-hmm.
right? So get this. A month and a half later, maybe 2 months later, I go right back at him. So what's up? What's happening? Right? So what about the three girls? So he goes, well, number one's gone. I go, well, I
Mm-hmm.
knew it. So now he's got three more, by the way. Number
Mm.
one's gone. Number two's gone. Number three that he was so excited about, right? I go, and so remember, she was like, kind of, he goes,
Yeah.
yeah, I broke her. So just
How
like
was
this,
it?
done. And then he, just like the rest of them,
Wow.
again, it's not a thought process. It's just kind of like she fell off, right? She's not the girl to build with,
Right.
even though she had the potential, because she seemed to have some values and some boundaries on herself. And he's just like, so then again, same thing. Because he liked her the most,
Mm-hmm.
he let her go the fastest. Like he was
Mm.
so disappointed in her that he just
Yeah.
didn't want to
It's
see
like,
anymore. Right?
yeah, I'm
So,
disgusted.
ladies, if you
Yeah.
understand, this is nature again, the men's mechanism, the limbic brain. Say if you're not to be, if you can't trust that you're not going to sleep with the guy next door because you're mad at him. That's happened to me, by the way. So that happens a lot,
Yeah.
right? Um, why would you? Why would he? So you give away your bodies
Mm-hmm.
without like there's like it's no big deal. So they go, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's no big deal. You're right. What do you mean? I
Right.
just want sex. That's all you're bringing to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Like,
true. It's true. It's not something that should be shocking, but I think to
I
women
know,
who want to think that, this is a
liberation.
different generation that, somehow men are just going to change because they think that men have changed, but it's not the truth.
Nature keeps running you over, right? Like, and
Yes.
I say, like, you could fight if you could go with a cultural tidal wave of go girl and sleep with anybody and get yours because men get theirs, thinking that's
That's
fair.
that's yeah, and that's
That's not
fine, but you can't expect
that's
a
that
solid relationship or
right.
marriage from that kind of relationship.
When women come to me, right? When
Mm-hmm.
women come to me is because they realize that's not working,
Mm-hmm.
or they're attracting boys only. Now they're getting
Mm-hmm.
lonely. TikTok, they want babies, and like
Mm-hmm.
all the now fear kicks in. They start to panic.
Right.
There's no good man, honey. We're pretty good man, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing everything wrong,
And I think a
not
lot
be,
of women, I used to say that there's like no good men or that I'm not going to date, but I was saying that and I was not looking because I was so determined to not find a good man.
straight up,
I'm like,
straight up.
see, I told you guys, I was trying to
See?
prove myself right. Like, I was, see, everybody, he's garbage. I told you. So now that I've, have done self-reflection, like I said, I am no
Pivot,
longer saying that. I'm more
pivot.
open. Yes, I'm open to finding somebody that is a good person instead of actively seeking out somebody so I can prove
Yeah.
myself right that
Yep.
there's no good men.
And
So,
by the way, men say the same exact thing. There are
mm-hmm,
no good women. They're
mm-hmm,
all crappy. They're all shitty. They're all cheap. They're all gold diggers. They don't give a crap. They
mm-hmm.
won't. They refuse. Get this, because it's interesting. Again, nature, instinct, right? It's all that I teach. Like, what is it that makes a man commit? There you go. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Why? Nobody knows. Men don't. Men know what works for them and know why they step in, but they can't explain it.
Mm-hmm.
We finally decoded this whole damn thing, by the way. So I have to teach this to men. I go, this is you doing this because of this. They go, no, I'm not. Oh, wait.
You're
They go,
right.
oh, yeah. That's,
Yeah, I guess you're
yeah.
right.
So men can explain, right? For men, you're yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
You're in, you're out. You're black, you're white, you're hot,
Yes.
you're cold, right? There's no gray area.
Right.
Women are all about gray area. This is one of the ways we're completely opposite and
Yes.
complementary.
Yes.
However, so if you don't know what men need to step up, to take care, to provide, protect, cherish you, right? And the culture is
Yes.
teaching you, everything the culture is teaching you is keeping you from doing this with men, or taking their side. I don't need no man. Okay, right? Like everything the culture teaches you is to keep you from doing what men need from you to step up. So men don't step up,
Right.
but they also complain. Where are the women?
Right.
They're shallow. They don't do
Yeah.
anything. My favorite line is this, like from like some badass woman. Well, he needs to meet me up here. He needs to like meet me up here. I'm like, shut up, shut the hell up. What are you bringing up here?
Yeah.
What
Are you
what
up
are you
here?
bringing?
Are you
no,
up
it's
here?
all attitude and ass, right? And flash and Instagram, and you're bringing nothing.
Right.
What are you bringing to him?
It should be equal.
Well, I don't have to do nothing because I got all. Get the hell
the looks. I'm
get the
sure
hell outta
that
here.
gets
Get the
especially
hell outta here.
nowadays. I'm sure a lot of people think that looks are what land you a relationship, and it might be for a time, but looks fade.
Well, the look is like a Ferrari, right? So men are always looking. That's again instinctual. It's actually wired in, right? Get this, men's eyeballs are wired to the brain to constantly seek out the female form in the world. Scanning.
Yeah.
Right? So you're right. They're always looking. Yes, you're right. They're visual. Absolutely. So when you scan, what happens? Oh, red Ferrari.
Yeah. Oh, that's
red
pretty.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Red Ferrari. Red Ferrari. Right? Now, red Ferrari is rare. Now, it doesn't mean I want the red Ferrari. I can't afford the red Ferrari. I don't want the maintenance of the Ferrari, but I see it. Right? So men are visual, yes. So what that means is, man will be attracted to what they see first. Right? So, and it usually goes like this, not the red Ferrari, because very few guys want a red Ferrari. The guys who drive Ferraris are douchebags, and the type. They want trophy everything, trophy girlfriend, trophy car, trophy life, trophy. It's all flash, right? Very few of those guys exist, and that's good. Right? The rest of the guys are normal. They want Camrys, reliable,
yes, good on gas, good mileage,
blah, 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 right? All that shit. That's what reasonable men, go for. So that concept of when women say, I don't want him to I want him to love me for my insides, not for the way I look like. I'm like, that's beautiful. And that's knowing nothing about man and nature. It doesn't start that way. It starts with his eyes. Yes. And what he does typically, he goes, she's pretty. She's got style, whatever it is that hooks him, right? But it's his eyes first, nature. And then something about her. There's something about her. And then they come in and investigate, and they want to know who you are, right? That's a date. What do you do? Blah, 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 blah. They ask a lot of questions, right? But so you could say, it's not fair. And, if I'm not nature, right? But nature. It's not Ferrari. This is when women are missing the point. It's not Ferrari the men are looking for. They will look at the Ferrari. They don't want the Ferrari.
Right.
It's too much in every way, right? So all you have to do is put yourself together that you care. I see this even in Los Angeles. I see in Los Angeles. You go to the store, you go to the mall, and women are walking on flip flops, juicy couture, sweatpants that are hanging off their butts, with a sweatshirt and the hair in a ponytail, no makeup. It's like you might as well say, "I completely give up. I don't give a crap." Yeah,
Yeah.
Like so. If you don't care visually, by the way, because it's also instinctual for the ladies to be lovely looking, to be pleasant looking, to look and smell good. If you give none of that out, the man, again, with our thought process, there's something wrong.
Right.
There's something way off, right?
Right.
There's something off. If you could walk around looking like this and not an ounce of care for how you look, something is wrong. So when you want them to see you from the inside, they can't see you through the outside. They can't see your inside through the outside, right? So again,
and the same thing with women. Women want men that are put together. I don't want a man that looks like he just rolled out of bed. I think that's and I used to think that was shallow, because a lot of people you need to lower your standards. Like, not all men are gonna look like GQ models. And I'm not saying that they have to look like models, but they at least have to shower. That's the bare minimum.
Well, damn, right? Basic maintenance, right?
Yes.
So in my world, it's always got I call it a sweet spot. Everything is a sweet spot. There's his way, there's her way. There's his preference, her preference. But if we come together dancing, sweet spot. We gotta dance together.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
then make deals in that, right? Now, basic stuff is basic stuff. I think hygiene is the most basic.
Yes.
right? But you don't have to be. If the guy looks like a GQ card all the time, he's a player typically because he's working all that. Because say as much as men pick with their eyes 1st and investigate, so do masculine women. Masculine women go, oh, he's got to be cute. Oh, he's 6'3". Oh, he's got a beamer, right?
Yeah.
Like, so the guy in the suit, they know this. Those are the boys, right? They flash you. They give you the eyes. They got the 6-pack. They're sweet. They blink. They wink. They got the grill, right? And they work their shit out of you because women who want he's so cute. He's so cute. I go, where's the cult? Where's the character in cute? Where's the character in cute? Where's the man in cute? Where's the accountability, integrity in cute?
Yes.
There's none, right? There's like cute, right?
That's it. You can't put cute doesn't pay the bills.
Right.
Also.
They reverse the roles because
cute,
like the women are the fair sex. When men are starting to act like, they're the item of your desire, women that are masculine pick with their eyes, and then so he gets laid by 6 different chicks. And even when he's sleeping with other women, you don't care because he's so manly. And at least you get some of that, right? Ladies. You see it? It's everywhere. So we reversed everything, and we wonder why it goes to hell. So men are acting like ladies, be pretty and all, like, and they give you all the flash, and it works. They get laid left and right. Right? Women acting like men, they make money and then take care of these boys and allow
You're describing my past relationships right now that I would only look for looks, and then I was like, why is there nothing behind those eyes? Why is there no thoughts coming out of that mouth?
Because there never needed to be anything but
handsome. Yes,
right, because that works. It doesn't need much more, right?
Exactly.
So a man, the masculine picks with their eyes. Masculine women pick with their eyes. Open yourself up to all kinds of trouble.
Oh yeah.
What does feminine pick with?
Their heart, mind. What? Their ears?
Yes.
Okay.
Woman, that's what he says. Oh, you want your wife to stay at home when she gets married?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
You're planning to move to like New York City when you get the promotion. Right?
Yeah.
Like his character. Forget what he looks like. It's like who he is. So women, smart women, feminine women, pick men with their ears, not their eyes. Right? He could be a little short, he could be a little bald, he could have a little pot belly. Who gives a shit? The guy produced like a mother, right?
Yeah.
Like a guy is a man. Like, I had one lady is hysterical. She married this short little Jewish guy. And she's stunning, like LA stunning, like actress stunning, right?
Ooh,
and her husband is like this. What? Like
he's with her, but
right. Now I see where he's out. So she's a friend. She's the cousin of one of my clients. And that's how I ended up meeting her. Like, how?
Yeah. How did he get her?
Right?
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? She goes, because she's beautiful. Right? She's like, I got all the boys in the world after me, right? Like I love a beautiful boy because I love, I like a beautiful man too, because, I think they match me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right? The whole thing, she's masculine, looking like a girl, but very masculine. She's beautiful boy, 6-pack model in LA, right? And she goes like, torture me. I'm paying the bills. I'm holding him up. I'm like, that I did move into my house because the landlord's a dick, and now they're driving my car because they can't fix their piece of shit. And like, it's everything. And it's 6 months into it, like, what happened in my life? I'm stressed out. I want to kill him. He's not that cute anymore.
He's not. Yeah, the cuteness fades.
There's no substance to him. Yeah, I'm his fucking mother. Excuse my French.
Yeah.
Right? So and then they go like, now you can't get rid of him because he has nowhere to go. He doesn't want to leave you, and he makes promises, and he's going to pay you back, but he doesn't. It's torture. She goes, this man. I know it's not much to look at, but she goes, he's got a big heart. He's got his shit together. He understands me as a woman. He knows how to take care of my needs. He understands how to make me feel safe, and he's got character. He's a good businessman. He cherishes kids. She goes, who cares? Yeah,
she's on to something. She's on to something, ladies.
They're married. They're married with
yes.
2 children now.
Yes.
But they're really, really visually different looking. But she's like, I've done the other side, and there's nothing on the other side. So this man's got character. He's a good man. Takes care of me and our kids. He works his ass off. I respect the hell out of him, and then that he respects me back. And
that it makes him attractive. So
now, guess what? They're dancing.
Yes, exactly. That's a great note to end on. Is that what can happen when you change your mindset and start looking for men, not boys, and also start looking for somebody because you're listening to what their character is.
Yes,
Love that. Listen.
Listen
Yes.
to what he's saying, because men reveal themselves. They don't talk so much, but when they do, pay attention.
They will tell on themselves.
They'll tell on themselves. Pay attention to, like, when he talks, he'll reveal his value system, what he's up to, what's important to him.
Yes.
You don't even have to ask him. Listen in. Just like eavesdrop when men are talking.
Yes.
They reveal themselves all the time. Like,
all the time. I love listening to men talk, because then I'm like, what are they? Yeah. And sometimes it's like, I always say, a lot of people think that men don't gossip, but it's just a different form. It's more, it's less embellished gossip.
It's called shit talking.
Yes, they're shit talking, and they do it better than women most of the time, because it's very, very succinct and to the point. So
straight up.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Very straight up. So before we go, I wanted you to promote anything that you want to promote. You said you wrote some books. You're an author, so please tell the
those
listeners.
They're not relationship books. They're success books, success stories of, like. So I'm part of. I was asking both these books. I'm a contributor. There's many stories, because we're sharing stories of success. How we got from talk about unscathed in childhood, right? Like, so these are all stories of people like me, and that were a bunch of us who went from difficult beginnings to success. So these very inspiring stories of success, or get over yourself, right?
Amazing.
My favorite line in the world is that, we're not responsible for the crap that happens to us as children, but you're absolutely 100% responsible for fixing it.
Yes.
So those two books, I'm right here.
And I'll link them in my show notes too, so that people can take a look.
This one is like Success Habits of Super Achievers.
Okay.
I mean, I'm with some big, like Darren Hardy, Dennis Watley, Tom Ziegler's. Like, there's some big ballers
names,
in here.
Yeah.
Big names in here, right? So I get to be part of this.
Awesome.
The other one's called Passion, Passion, and oh shoot. three P's.
The 3 P's.
The 3 P's. Purpose, passion, profit, purpose, and passion.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah.
So these are cool. But I have a gift for you listeners.
Yes.
If you want.
Yes.
So anybody who's curious about what I said, right? Like some people go, oh, okay. Like, this guy's got something different, apparently. That's usually how they approach me. Like, my girlfriend said, you got some different stuff, and I saw it change. What do you got, right? So I'm offering anybody who's curious about what I do in their circumstances to book a 1 hour call with me. It's completely on me. That's a $400 call. I give it away to people who are curious and want to kind of peel the onion, right? So that what I told you in the beginning, it takes me like 20 minutes to figure out what's wrong with you, or what happened to you as a child, right? So that's what that call. So we go into the past, we peel the onion, we go to, there it is. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just your life. Again, liberating. And then what's the dream? What's the dream? What is it? What is a dream? And then how there's different ways for me to work with me to get on the other side. So there's 3 different ways to work with me. So small,
that's
medium,
amazing.
large.
That's a huge gift to give to my listeners.
I think so.
Yes. So yeah, I'll link that information in the show notes. Give me the info. Yes.
If you just go to www.andregroupcoaching, it'll be easier. .com. AndreGroupCoaching.com. I created a landing page that takes you to my calendar.
Very cool.
And go to the 1 hour VIP. Just wherever it's open, my calendar is crazy. So whenever there's an opening, click on it. It'll send me a notice, and you on my calendar, I'll send you a link for talk.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I feel like everybody should take advantage of peeling their onions. So
it's a little freaky. Some people get a little nervous.
Yes.
But if you've heard me speak, you can tell, I hope that I'm easy.
You know what you're talking about.
And I know my stuff, but it's also like people sometimes are afraid of what they didn't discover. But I'm telling you, it's liberating.
Yes.
It's liberating. And then you have choices.
Yes. Absolutely. More. That's amazing.
So that's what I got.
Awesome.
Facebook group. I have a private Facebook group with 1,800 women. It's called Dating and Relationship Insights. You have to apply to get in, but that's something you could jump in the community that way, because the community, God, these women that I work with are so beautifully smart, creative and struggling with this stuff. So they come together in a group, and I share stuff all the time. I have Instagram is Project Equinox on Instagram. Get it? Project Equinox.
Yes.
Right? The balance.
Yes, a balance of everything.
Night and day, light and dark.
Yes.
So I'll send you an email and you'll have all the links. But yeah, like you guys, it's really the culture is messing everything up in the name of freedom and liberation. And of course, beautiful, yes, and no, too much.
Yes, yeah.
So you have to see where the wheels come off.
Right.
And the rest of it is just not knowing. It's just we don't know how to dance.
Right.
When you watch ballroom dancers glide across the floor, I don't know if you've ever seen live ballroom dancing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They swoop and you go, right? It's
like
beautiful.
They're floating. Yeah,
they're floating. It looks effortless.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of training in that.
Right.
Right. So a relationship with a person takes a lot of training. You're going to step in each other's toes, but if you're in it to win it, right, then you're like really like adult thinking as opposed to projecting everything on each other, but kind of built something. This is quite, you could learn. You just,
right.
Like, if you don't know how to salsa, you got to go to salsa class, you learn to salsa. It's going to be clunky in the beginning.
Yes.
But the more you practice, guess what?
The better it's going to be. And you're going to be floating. So
ta-da.
Beautiful.
That's what I do. So
beautiful analogy. I love it. So before you go, yes. I like to ask my listeners this question. Every listener has answered. Do you know Britney Spears?
Of course.
What is your favorite Britney Spears song? There are right answers.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
A classic. A classic. He loves the classic.
All of my friends in that video, because I come from that background. So everybody in the background behind her are my buddies. Yeah. What? So that's why, like, I see the picture and the little short skirt and all my buddies in the back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You are like my 9-year-old self is screaming because I'm jealous, because everybody knows I'm obsessed with Britney Spears. So that's why I asked. So yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was great. We'll have you on again, I'm sure, because please. I know I'm going to get an influx of questions from people wanting to know.
So many topics, right?
Yes.
There's so many layers. So like we could talk for 20 days.
We probably could do a whole series on this. So thanks for how you found me. I don't know, but the universe bringing us together, I thank the universe for that. So
every person I work with is brought to me by the universe, like on a cosmic, like they're looking for this, and even if they don't think they're looking for it, their heart was looking for it.
Yes.
And then it goes ding,
yes.
and magic.
It is. So, well, thank you again. And if it's day, night, love or light, bye.